Well, moving on right now, because in a few hours, Hong Kong will be unveiling its new budget and reveal whether and how it will reflect the months of pro-democracy protests and public pressure to address social concerns. Those struggling on low wages will want housing, old age benefits, and education to be on the agenda, while the business community hopes for tax incentives. From Hong Kong, I was joined earlier by analyst Peter Churchouse.
The Hong Kong government is certainly not top of the popularity polls, that's for sure, as is witnessed by 2 months of protests last year. So I think there's a lot of pressure and incentive on the government to come forward with a lot of freebies and giveaways that perhaps can be construed as buying itself some votes. So I think we're going to expect to see certain one-off rebates that are going to be handed out, rebates on public housing rents, for example, rebates on taxes, rebates on rates payable on property, and secondly, there will be more permanent measures which will be quite significant. I think, for example, we're going to see the young benefit and the old benefit. For example, there will be, I think, a raising of child allowances in the tax code, and there will be a significant increase in old age income supplementary benefits as well.
All right, that's bridging the gap between the rich and the poor. What about the competitiveness of Hong Kong, which it may have lost during the protests late last year?
I'm not sure that it lost a lot of competitiveness during the protest, but I think there's other reasons for that. For example, the very high cost of doing business in Hong Kong, particularly on the housing and property front, I think is very negative. Also on education. So I'm expecting to see budget proposals to improve and increase education, particularly for the international level. And I'm expecting to see certainly supplements or something to help bring down the cost of housing and increase the supply of housing going forward. This is a long-term problem, not a short-term one.
And it was Peter Churchouse on the forthcoming Hong Kong budget.